should have taken the helicopter.
How was I supposed to know that there will be traffic?
There is always traffic.
Okay, just because you have a geothermal map of every major city and hidden drones that give you minute-to-minute updates on global traffic patterns doesn't mean you suddenly know everything, darling.
Can you please stop? We are running late, and you remember the last time we missed our appointment, there was a whole conflama, and we had to reschedule, and I'm not moving my diamond appraisal again.
Do you think you're the only one who's busy? Do you even realize how long it takes to catalog every single soul that gets tithed to the ritual that, need I remind you, sustains my human form? Do you seriously think that I don't anticipate—
Hi, welcome to Dr. office. Please, take a seat and the doctor will be with you as soon as he's ready.
Hold on 1 second, darling. I think we've been interrupted, and you know how I hate being interrupted.
Great. Now we're late, and you killed the secretary. This is the second one since we started seeing this hack.
Whatever. Why don't you just pay to have them cloned or replaced or whatever it is that you do with them? Open the door and let's get this over with.
Classy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear you come in. Did you check in with Janine?
Is that her name? Okay, got it.
No. I think Janine is taking a little breather, a dirt nap, if you will.
Well, no matter. I see you're a bit late to your session today, so I was hoping that we could...
Actually, Dr. We need to chat with you about these sessions. This is our 5th session, and we're beginning to wonder if this is having any real impact besides on our schedules.
Nice.
Oh, well, these things can take time to feel like they're working, but rest assured, I have spoken with one of my colleagues at the university.
Excuse me? I'm sorry. Speaking to your colleagues about what exactly?
About my methodology. Yes, about my methodology, which is, I'm sure you'll both agree, a bit unorthodox.
Dear, why don't you take a breath? There you go.
Fine.
That was interesting. Yes, well, my methodology can be a bit strange, but I feel as though we may be on the verge of a real breakthrough here with your relationship. With my discoveries and your hard work persevering through couples therapy, of course, I feel like I may be finally getting the recognition I deserve. And of course, you both get to work through these issues that you're having in your relationship. Now, if you both wouldn't mind having a seat, I'd like for us to begin today's exercise. Please.
Okay, is he serious? Just sit.
Fantastic. Now, as always, my name is Dr. and you have no idea how thrilled I am to have you in my office for today's session of couples therapy. Today, I'd like to switch things up a bit, but don't worry. I'll save the big twist for later. Right. So today, rather than having you assume 2 brand new personalities, I'd like for you to select 2 personas that you've already introduced here in this office and to continue a conversation with one another that may have already been happening. Of course, I'd like for you both to first introduce yourselves to one another so that we can start fresh. Let's keep this exercise to a maximum of 20 minutes today. I would love to discuss something that I'm beginning to piece together with you if we have a moment. Ready? Begin.
Hi, my name's DEVOGLAER, and I'm a demon uploaded into the subconscious neural network that binds all living beings. And I'm not sorry about murdering that secretary, but I do apologize for the inconvenience.
Oh, happy day. It seems as though you have put the thesaurus I purchased you last Christmas to good use. My name is ONICKS. I'm a pop star and a supervillain. I do just about everything under the sun, and I think that I am just spectacular. But, Marge.
Oh, Marge.
You know, I was looking through my scrapbook the other day. You know, the purple one.
Oh.
It's covered in perlits. I love scrapbooking.
Oh, Marge, that purple scrapbook with the perlits. Beautiful, Marge.
It is. I really love getting in there with the glue stick on a Sunday. You know, just opening up my windows and really get to scrapbooking. But I saw a chapter in there that brings up some good, mostly good memories.
Oh,
you know.
mostly good, Marge.
Do you remember?
Oh.
It was June.
June?
It was June 1998.
Oh, Marge, wait a darn
Yeah,
minute,
do you know
Marge.
where I'm going with that,
June
Marge?
19... Okay, I do remember, Marge.
It was the cruise.
Oh,
Marge.
Marge, the cruise. Oh,
The cruise.
You salty dog of the seas.
I'm glad you said that. I've always wondered because we didn't really have the time and energy after everything that happened to really go into what happened there because, as you know, we became elite members of the Hilton Honor Society.
Oh, Marge, I'll tell you, when I think about the things that truly made an impact in my life, Marge, becoming an elite member of the Hilton Honors is truly one of the greatest achievements, Marge. How could it not be?
Well, there's nothing better. And I remember when I got that letter in the mail.
Oh.
It was the Hilton Honors cruise liner.
Marge, I have a question for you.
What's your question, Marge?
Did your letter, when you opened it up, did it sing a little tune for you?
It did. Do you remember what it sounded like, Marge?
Marge, I'll tell you, the tune sounded like angels on high, Marge. I just thought, oh my goodness, this is what it feels like to win.
It really was, and it smelled like lavender, and I just have... Anything lavender just makes me so happy, but that ship... Wow, the bells and whistles on that Winnebago of the sea, Marge.
Oh, Marge.
Oh.
I remember looking at the pamphlet, Marge, that came inside that letter and just thinking, oh, Marge and I could really tear up the seas in this bad boy, Marge.
I knew how you felt about it, and I felt bad. I knew that, we all go through our ups and downs, and times were a little tough for you.
Much like the seas, Marge, there's the tides.
Oh.
Marge, I don't know if you're fully aware of the way that the moon impacts the way that the tidal waves come in.
I don't read the news, Marge.
I wouldn't. It's a lot of dark stuff, Marge. But much like the tides, they come and they go, Marge, money comes and goes. And I feel like Mama Marge once said to me,
money is not in your future, Marge.
And I thought that was a little rude, but I have a best friend, Marge, who is money savvy.
I really am. And my mother, Barbara.
Oh, how is Barbara?
Well, we're not really speaking right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really want to go into it too much, but something tells me deep inside my culottes, I think she was having an affair with Carl. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, my goodness, Marge.
I found
Carl?
I found a letter when I was finally boxing up and eventually burning his clothes. I found a letter, and it seemed like it was in Mama Barb's handwriting, and it read,
to my sassy skatoon.
Oh, it called him the sassy skatoon, huh?
And oh God, that's what she called my father. And I just, as soon as I read that, I wept.
Jesus wept, Marge.
Honestly, but anyways. Back to the task at hand here, Marge. I saw that glisten in your eyes when you saw that pamphlet. I was standing behind you in our studio apartment.
Oh, that studio apartment we shared was very cute.
It was nice. I love the seashell outlets. Outlets are really important.
I know that they're... Did you know that I handcrafted those outlets, Marge?
Is that what that Dremel was that I heard every morning at 3 a.m.?
It was. I'll tell you, Marge, I was having a little bit of a problem with caffeine at the time, Marge. I was drinking a lot of Monster energy drinks.
I did keep something from you, Donald, the landlord. Yeah, we got several noise complaints.
Oh.
I had to pay him under the table.
This is a little confusing, Marge, because the whole time, hindsight is 20/20, Marge.
It is.
I truly thought that Donald just had it out for me, Marge. I just thought there's no way you could be hearing my dremeling at 3 a.m. I thought it was very quiet, Marge.
Well, you do know that I grind my teeth.
Oh, you are a big grinder,
I do.
Marge.
I wear the mouth guard. It's really unsettling. That's probably why I haven't dated since Carl.
Well,
but, I thought it was just my chattering.
The chattering of the teeth, very much like dremeling.
Very similar sounding.
Into the hardwood.
But anyways, we're standing there. I see you looking at this pamphlet, and wow, I've never seen eyes glisten like that. It just, I didn't tell you I did this, but
Marge,
I got in my VW bug and I sped on down to Dillard's.
Oh, the Dillard's that was on Moore Park?
It was the Dillard's on Moore Park.
Oh, it was a nice Dillard's.
It was such a classy Dillard's,
Oh,
Marge.
classy Dillard's,
their
Marge.
culottes department was unmatched. I might even say
Oh, don't Marge. Don't say anything that you would regret.
Above Cole's, Marge.
Oh, Marge.
I know.
I'll keep it
Father,
between you
son,
and me,
and-
Marge.
Yes, anyways, I get down there and I say, listen, I have a substantial amount of money in Dillard's dollars.
You were very good at. Actually, I wondered sometimes, is my best friend Marge money laundering these Dillard's dollars?
Well, I think it's best sometimes in any friendship to look the other way.
I prefer to turn a blind eye, Marge. I said, these readers, Marge, they have the bifocal lens, and I am
know.
looking above. I do not see it, Marge.
I don't want anyone to get hurt, if that makes sense, Marge.
Marge, I'll tell you, it has made sense since the first day I met you.
And that's what I love about you.
Of course.
So I exchanged those Dillard dollars to US dollars. I went right on down to the Hilton Honors and I said, listen, Becky.
Oh, Becky. Was Becky working the front desk that time?
She was. She's fabulous.
Oh, she is fabulous.
Yeah,
I do love
she
her.
smells odd. Does not. Very off-putting.
Could use a little lavender spritz, if you know what I mean,
some
Marge.
people, they don't believe in deodorant, and that's fine with me. But I said, I want the first 2 tickets on that Hilton Honors cruise ship. I want them for me and my girl Marge. And you know what she said to me?
What did she say to you?
She started typing.
Typing real fast, huh?
And I was like, gosh, she's typing for a long time.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Clock's ticking.
Did you have a Reader's Digest with you to pass the time, Marge?
I did. I was flipping through that thing really quick. And
That bad
you know
boy.
what? She then looked at me and she said,
Well, Marge, you're in luck. There's 2 spots left.
The 2 maidens for the Maiden Voyage, Marge.
yes. And I jumped so high in the air, I split my culottes right down the back. I didn't even care.
Marge, wait a darn minute, Marge. I remember when you came home with those culottes split up the middle. I thought, that is a provocative outfit there, Marge.
And let me tell you, the leather seats in that Volkswagen were burning my tushy, Marge.
Oh,
Ooh,
Marge.
I was sizzling.
A little too hot for my taste. But
Yes.
you know what wasn't too hot for my taste?
What?
Our destination of the Bahamas, Marge.
The Bahamas. Oh, gosh. Could
I
you
remember,
imagine?
Marge. The second that you came home, split seams right up the culottes, and you said to me, Marge, we're going to the Bahamas. And I jumped for joy too. Oddly, I split my culottes too in the same way. I think it was actually the culottes we were both wearing, Marge.
Coles.
Though,
That's why I'm saying the quality is different, Marge.
Marge,
Dillard's, those things are built to last like Duralast.
You're really putting something in my brain there, Marge. But regardless, I said, oh my gosh, Marge, we're going to the Bahamas. I'm getting ready I'm going to live my Rihanna on the beach fantasy. Marge, I am just ready. I've got my sunscreen. I've got my beach culottes. I've got my pool culottes, my poolots, if you will, Marge.
Yes. Your culottes are fabulous.
Oh, I know. They
Oh, my
have
gosh.
the little inflatable wings on them, Marge.
Yes, the little flamingos.
Oh, you
my
love those
God,
flamingos.
Yes, and I was packing my sun hat, my sun dress, and my sunnies, and I was just ready to go to the Bahamas. All I had to do was fill out the questionnaire, send it back to the Hilton Honors, and then our tickets were in the mail.
Now, Marge, I don't want to get ahead of you, but I do have to ask, when you were filling out this questionnaire, Marge,
Oh, Marge.
in pen, I might add, you are a risk taker. Do you think in hindsight there was anything strange about the questionnaire?
Well, you know me, Marge. I get really excited, especially when I'm spending money. When I'm flipping those cash bills out the
You
door, I'm spendy windy.
Don't make me bring up our time in Reno.
Oh, Jeez, what happens in Reno stays?
Oh, well, it
that
better.
was not okay.
That was a dark
I
time.
was excited. I was so excited. I was shaking. My beads on the end of my pen were rattling. And gosh, I may have rushed that.
I think maybe a little bit. Why do you think, though, in hindsight, why do you think you rushed that, Marge?
I was excited. I wanted to get in the mail. We were the last 2. What if our tickets disappeared? Becky is unreliable, as we know.
That is very true. She is fabulous, unreliable, and could use a little lavender.
Oof.
I don't mean to harp on it, Marge, but I just believe that A little lavender goes a long way, Marge.
It really does. But anyways,
So-
do you remember 2 business weeks later,
Oh.
that shuttle that picked us up for the trip?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what it looked like?
Marge, I remember exactly what it looked like, Marge. It pulled up, and I thought, this is so reminiscent of Hans's white limo. But you remember when they did those Hummer limos, Marge?
Oh, it was fabulous.
Do you remember the interior?
Oh,
A
my
lot of
gosh.
LED lights, Marge.
A lot of LED lights. And there was a man in there that looked like, I don't know if you're familiar with this type of music, but do you know the singer Pitbull?
Dale, Marge.
Yeah, there was a guy DJing in the back.
Marge, do you think that might have been Pitbull?
You know, now that I think about it,
Huh.
it could have been Pitbull. But
Coulda
anyways,
not.
it could have not. Who knows? You know, I do listen to that style of music. You may not know that about me.
Marge, I had no idea you were such a connoisseur of pop music.
Oh, I love beach party music. I love blondes and, you know, their spray tans and the oil. I love the whole scene.
Oh,
I was big into spring break.
Marge, I think in a different life, you and I could have been, I don't know, selling real estate in some fabulous place, but
I don't know. That sounds like a lot for me, Marge. I like renting an apartment with you.
oh, Marge, I'll tell you, renting an apartment with you for the past 20 years has truly been the shining star above the Christmas tree of my life.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Thank you, Marge. I
And
love
you know I love Christmas.
I know you do, but we're here to talk about the summer in the Bahamas cruise. So we're in the white Hummer limo. Pitbull or Pitbull adjacent is playing some tunes, and I'll tell you, you know I love my tequila, Marge.
You do. You?
Marge,
You know, live your life. I was buying the drinks. I bought us a bottle in that car. It was very expensive,
Marge,
$600. But
it was a little more expensive than I realized, and if I had known how expensive the tequila was, Marge, I don't think that I would have been shooting it quite the way I was. I was throwing them back, Marge.
well, you know, I should have stopped myself. I only brought $600 on the trip, and I spent all of it on that bottle. But the whole thing was supposed to be
all-inclusive. Marge, that's the thing. So the white Hummer limo, which I thought was a little strange because, Marge, as you and I both know, we live multiple states away from the nearest port. That Hummer limo drove us for hours, Marge.
You got through that bottle in the first mile.
I did, Marge. And, I took
No traffic.
I took a nice nap, Marge.
I know.
Oh.
For 12 hours, you napped.
But when I woke up, Marge, we were there at the port. The boat is there. And I think this is the part where I turned to you, Marge, and I said, Marge, what is this supposed to be the Hilton Honors Maiden Voyage
No.
cruise liner?
That is what I thought it was. Now, it may have been an oversight for me. You know, it was a low moment for me. And
One of
I
your
will admit
lowest.
this. One of my lowest moments. I did not take a gander at the physical tickets themselves when they came in the mail. I was so excited, I just threw it right into my tote bag.
Marge, what are you supposed to do? The internet is becoming a thing at that time. People are telling us to not open up the mail because you never know, Marge.
Yeah,
People are trying
rather
to
be safe than sorry.
people are sending you weird stuff. People are taking photos of you on the subway, Marge. Oh, I wouldn't open up a letter unless I knew exactly where it was coming from, Marge.
No. And you know, we pulled up. They kind of abruptly kicked us out, put our bags out there.
I do remember
my wicker duffel bag, which, so fabulous, that wicker bag.
That was fabulous, Marge.
And you know, we're dressed, we're ready to go, and there she was. The SS Antarctica.
At that point, Marge, I thought, a funny name for a boat that's supposed to be going to the Bahamas, Marge. But again, I was a bottle deep, Marge. I was a bottle deep, and also I look to you, Marge, as the captain of the ship that is our life as best friends, Marge.
And you know, usually I'm a good leader, and so I led us into that boat. You know, I was looking for the Hilton logos. You know, the man that was letting us in and checking tickets was dressed in a parka. I felt a little out of place.
I did too, Marge. And, of the numerous cruises you and I have gone on in the past, Marge, the first place I go is the piano bar. Marge, I want to be drinking a big beverage, Marge, with an umbrella in it. My culottes are flapping in the wind, Marge. I'm pretending to be, pay me like one of your French girls, I'm the queen of the world. But we then got to the room, Marge, and I saw an awful lot of harpoons.
Yeah, it was the harpoons, the lack of windows, and the insulation on the walls. And it was like we had an out-of-body experience, Marge. In that moment, I realized, unfortunately, the trip that we had prepared for, the Bahamas, was in fact a boat heading for Antarctica.
Marge, this is the first time that I started to panic on the cruise ship, Marge. Well, now we know is more of a dinghy. More of a crew boat, Marge.
It was a research vessel, I came to find out. And, speaking of panic, do you remember that first dinner?
Oh, Marge, where we met the captain?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember his name, Marge?
Yeah, Captain Johannes.
Oh, Captain Johannes. I will say, a very handsome man, Marge.
He was handsome. That beard was 2.5 feet long by my measurement, and he seemed a bit more weathered than a normal cruise liner, captain would be.
Normally, Marge, when you go on a cruise, I feel like they put the captain in one of those nice suits. And, Captain Johannes, he was wearing this garment, Marge, that I could only describe as being made of rubber. It
was like a blubber.
It was, well, and speaking of blubber, that was the first time that I'd ever had blubber, because I remember sitting down and getting some strange looks, Marge, from the rest of the crew.
I mean, they were dressed like they were going into a tundra, and we were dressed for the Bahamas. And, as I just mentioned, I spent my only money on that bottle of tequila for you, Marge. And this was no all-inclusive cruise, Marge.
No, it wasn't. Marge, I'll ask you a question. Are you familiar with the movie Alien?
No, Marge.
So, Marge, in the movie Alien, there's a scene where they're all having dinner, Marge, and things are real tense. There's been one of those face huggers, Marge, and it's latched itself onto one of the crew, and then they're all eating their food, and then kabam! An alien bursts out of the chest of one of the crew members. And Marge, when I started to look around, and I made a joke, Marge. I said, so, when's the Bahamas? And you would have thought, Marge, an alien had burst right out of my tote bag.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that.
Well, Marge, I just saw the movie Alien. They're making a new one. Anyway, I digress. So the reason why I brought it up is because the amount of panic on people's faces, then the alarm goes off, Marge.
Oh my God, that thing was so loud, Marge.
Oh, I had to cover my ears. I thought, not since our time in Berlin with the Berghain nightclub. Oh my goodness, Marge.
Oh God, that was fabulous. But oh my gosh, we were just ushered right into our rooms right away. That man was getting really handsy with me.
Do you think that he was getting handsy with you? Because I thought he was getting handsy with me, Marge.
They were all getting a little handsy.
Oh, a little rough.
A little rough.
Oh, yeah, I know you like that, Marge.
Not in this case, no. No. I mean, we are careening towards Antarctica, Marge.
But Marge, I'll never forget. As that guy, what was that guy's name who was pushing us around? Do you remember seeing his name tag?
Yeah, Jeb.
Oh, Jeb. When Jeb was pushing us around, I thought, we got to get out of this situation, Marge.
We got to get off this boat.
And then I remember, Marge, this is when all hell broke loose, so to speak. I hate to say that word.
I hate when you say the HE double hockey sticks, but oh gosh, sometimes it gives me heebie-jeebies.
Marge, do you remember what happened to Jeb?
Oh yeah, I did the unspeakable, Marge.
Marge, you closed that door directly onto Jeb's hand.
I did, and as soon as he started screaming, it was almost like, I'm not sure if you've seen The Matrix, but in The Matrix, when they slow down time and they're dodging bullets, right?
Oh, yeah, the bullet
it's like
time.
Trinity's like doing a back handspring, and, Neo's bending his spine backwards,
right.
And they're dodging bullets.
They've got the katanas and the bullets and the swords.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
I felt like time had slowed down, and I took my readers off, broke off one of the arms, fashioned it into a shiv.
Oh, Marge, in real time, too.
And I stabbed that man right in the eye.
Marge, at the same time. And Marge, Marge, I'll tell you, whether it's a clandestine op to the astral plane or if it's, our ill-fated cruise to the Bahamas, we're always aligned, Marge, because in that exact moment, I grabbed one of the harpoons off the wall and I said, "Oh, not today, Moby Dick." And I threw it, Marge. I threw it right through that man's skull.
You did, but one detail you're missing there is you threw it at such a velocity that it went through the middle door and then into that man's skull and then into the wall behind him.
Marge, I'll tell you. You know when moms lift cars off of babies,
Oh, sometimes buses.
Adrenaline, Marge. I felt like I had just taken an epinephrine pen and just jammed it into my leg, Marge. Woo! I was ready. And then our fight or flight instincts kick in, Marge, and this is why I truly love you.
It is. Well, at that point, and I can safely say this, we murdered that man.
Marge, if this is just between you and me, Marge.
Of course, Marge, tell me.
I wouldn't say that I'm proud of murdering Jeb, but I do think that it was warranted.
It was. I did check his wallet. It's a weird, it's something that I picked up in college.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
also picking locks, too, Marge.
Yeah, picking locks and checking wallets and opening car doors.
Marge, why did they have those courses at the University of Minnesota?
It's, I wasn't very honest with you. I took those off campus.
Oh, Marge, I would never be upset at you furthering your education somewhere else, Marge.
Someone had to pay for our excursions together, and I was going to figure it out one way or another.
That's why I've always appreciated you, Marge.
Thank you. But, I did go through that man's wallet, and he had many children.
Oh, Marge, I've lived this long without knowing that, and I'm going to go to bed tonight remaining unaware of the fact that he had many children.
That's okay. My therapist, Christopher, he said, just tell someone.
Marge, I'll always be your lavender journal of a best friend. You can tell me anything, Marge, but tell me this, Marge, because this is the point where you remember the whole entire bottle of tequila. I downed it. I'm coming in and out of consciousness a little bit, Marge.
The effects lasted rather long, didn't they, Marge?
I drank the worm, Marge.
Oh. Did you sneak your own tequila on the ship, Marge?
I might have, Marge. Well, here's the thing, is they tried to confiscate it, Marge, and so what am I going to do, waste it? No, so I had to drink the whole thing.
Okay.
So then we leave our room, Marge. The alarms are going off. Jeb is harpooned to the wall, Marge. Your readers are just jammed in his eye. And we had to make a run for it, Marge.
We did. I had fastened that remaining reader glass to my face like a singular oculus, almost like I was on some sort of CIA op. And I was darting down that hallway, checking rooms FBI style, like bam, bam, bam.
Come out! Come out with your hands up!
And you know what? I was on a mission.
Marge, I don't think I've ever seen you move that agile before. You are like a wildcat woman.
Well, those flip-flops fused to the bottom of my feet.
Oh, Marge, it was very cold. I do remember that in Antarctica.
It was freezing, and, frostbite kicks in very fast, and we were not dressed for the occasion, Marge.
Oh, no, Marge.
We were
you
not.
Looked fabulous, though, Marge.
Thank you, yeah.
You looked great.
I was, I felt like I looked beautiful, and for you to say that, it really means a lot.
Marge, be honest with me, and I'm not going to be upset. Did you get new culottes at Dillard's for the occasion, Marge?
Marge, I felt bad because I knew you couldn't get them for yourself.
It's okay, Marge. Marge, I knew it. Marge, I knew that those were new culottes because you left the tag on, Marge, and I nipped it for you.
Calvin Klein.
I did, Marge.
The
Calvin Klein
culottes. I mean,
the
that
craftsmanship.
Oh my gosh! You remember that ad that they did with Justin Bieber?
Oh, the one with Mariska Hargitay as well.
Yes, and wow, Olivia Benson in some culottes.
Oh, Marge.
And I'm glad you brought her up because that's who I was channeling on that boat.
I knew it, Marge.
I
knew it.
We didn't know why the alarm was going off, but we just killed a man.
But so we're running through the halls, Marge. We're banging down the doors FBI style. And I seem to remember at this point, Marge, we hit a little turbulence.
We did. And, It was my quick thinking. I wanted to get to Johannes.
We had to, Marge.
Captain, I knew he had the key because I didn't want to go to Antarctica.
Marge, I'm so glad you said this because the whole time we've been talking about this, all I could think was I wanted to go on a vacation with my best friend, Marge, to the Bahamas. Marge, I brought so much sunscreen. Actually, it's how I brought a majority of the tequila onto the boat, Marge.
Oh, that's disgusting, Marge.
Oh, it was not great. Was not great. I anticipated that I would need it, and I did not.
That was why your tongue was white. I thought that you were experiencing necrosis.
Oh, no, Marge. Just having a good time.
Yeah, okay. Well, eventually, luckily, I did find Johannes. Now that took some planning getting in that man's room.
Oh, Marge, I don't think I could have possibly anticipated how cold the ventilation systems would be, Marge. You'd think because they were pumping hot air through, but Marge, when the ambient temperature is -20 Fahrenheit, it was pretty cold.
Yeah, and those Calvin Klein culottes, insulated.
Oh, lined, Marge?
Yes, and I feel bad, Marge.
Why do you feel bad, Marge?
It was no coincidence.
Marge, what do you mean no coincidence? What are you
talking
talking about,
It was
Marge?
no mistake, Marge.
But Marge, you filled out the questionnaire and you didn't even look at the tickets, Marge. What are you talking about?
I never went to the Hilton Honors.
Oh, Marge, you know that dishonesty breeds contempt. Marge, why did you...
I'm sorry. After Berlin, that trip, though that man died in that hotel.
Marge, I think you should be honest with yourself. You murdered that man.
I did. But we had the time of our lives.
Marge, first of all, Marge, please. Dab your face. Take those tears away, Marge.
I know,
Marge.
I know. I just hate lying to you, but sometimes you're stubborn and you do like your tequila.
Marge, I'm stubborn as a bull, Marge, but I'll tell you, you are the wind beneath my wings, Marge. You are the wind beneath my culottes. You're the breeze on my face when I wake up in the Bahamas, which we didn't this time. But, Marge, I would follow you to the ends of the earth, Marge. Marge, if you told me that you had to go to the abyssal plane for an extended period of time, not for fun, for business, not pleasure, Marge, I would be right by your side. You know you never have to fool me, Marge.
Okay, then, let me get some things off my chest that I did tell Christopher, and he told me to tell you, and I wasn't sure that we were going to have this conversation today, so I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
Let me take you back. I did not go to the Hilton Honors.
Oh.
I met with an old associate.
Oh, Marge.
Codename Dave.
Codename Dave?
He got us on that vessel.
Marge, I haven't heard that name in years.
I know. I didn't want to keep that from you, but he told me about this vessel. They were up to no good, Marge. Let me tell you, they were up to no good.
Was Captain Johannes a hit, Marge?
Yes.
Oh, Marge, this is exciting. This is exciting.
I miss that dopamine rush of watching the life leave a man's eyes, Marge.
Well, Marge, I'll tell you, not since Carl, have I seen that look on your face, but it did make sense when we slammed through the ventilation system and there we were. It's you, me, the Calvin Klein culottes, and Captain Johannes.
Well, not just Captain Johannes. It was 14 crew members surrounding us in a circle, movie style.
Marge, that's the point where I remember looking to you and thinking, this is my Charlie's Angel, Marge.
This was our moment, Marge. This is what I had hoped for.
Marge, I'll always look at you as my cat-like reflexes best friend, Marge. But the one thing I will say, Marge, I know this about myself, and I hope you love it about me too. I'm crafty, Marge.
Oh, you are resourceful, Marge.
I am resourceful.
Whoa.
I have a sharp eye for these things. And I saw on the wall, there was a replica grenade. And I thought, what are the chances, Marge, that this replica grenade is no replica? I grabbed the grenade, I put the pin in between my teeth and pulled the pin. And I said, nobody moves and nobody gets hurt,
move.
Marge.
Wow, the adrenaline rush there. I looked at you and oh God, my eyebrows singed.
just like that pewter helmet, Marge.
Oh, God, it just got me going, Marge.
Now, and this is the weird part, Marge, is, sometimes I think about my life as a series of maybe choose your own adventures, or if you're playing a video game and it asks you, do you want to say this or say that? I could have used the grenade, Marge, to buy us some time or maybe force everyone off the boat. I threw it.
I know you did. And do you remember the moment that grenade left your hand careening towards that metal wall towards the back? I snatched that captain's steering wheel, spun 180 degrees, and I'm sure that you're aware of the boomerang.
Marge.
And I boomerang that steering wheel, and let me tell you, 14, boom, boom, snap, snap, neck crack. These men were going down like a stack of dominoes.
Marge, going down harder than a stack of blubber pancakes. Which, do you remember they tried to serve us those blubber pancakes, Marge?
Their mistake.
It really was. So, at this point, Marge, it's a veritable ghost ship. It's you and me and, well, the memory of the 14 crew members and Captain Johannes.
Well, yeah, because I did lock the rest of the crew in the rooms, and it was their mistake. It was one simple button.
I feel as though they should have understood. We meant business, Marge.
Absolutely. And you know something that I respect about us, Marge?
Tell me, Marge.
The cleanup.
Oh, Marge, not a fingerprint in sight.
Not a fingerprint in sight. And you know what? That grenade did take out about 6 of them, and my boomerang steering wheel maneuver took out the remaining 8. And gosh, I mean, the choreography on that fight was just the stuff of art.
Marge, I don't think that you could have planned it better. They say art imitates life, Marge, and I think that this is one of those moments where I thought, John Wick could never.
John Wick, Keanu Reeves
has
nothing on this, because let me tell you, that fight lasted all of 3.8 seconds.
Marge, it was over in the blink of an eye. And you know what else is a little fascinating, Marge, talking about time?
What?
Well, time being a flat circle and all, is you managed to steer that boat right to the Bahamian port, Marge.
I was able to parallel park that boat between...
You did?
Yeah, do you remember they were doing that replica of the Titanic?
I do remember that.
Yeah, they were doing those weird ghost tours on it. Anyways, I parallel parked it between the Hilton Honors cruise ship and that Titanic replica. And luckily for us, that boat only made it about 2 miles out into sea. All this went down. Barely even got anywhere.
And Marge, I think that the best part of this story is the fact that for whatever reason, I do think it's because, we only stay at Hilton Honors, so we had already made elite status. They actually accepted our wristbands to go onto the boat after we docked.
Marge, why do you think that is?
Oh, Marge. This is why, Marge. This is why you're my best friend.
It may have cost me the rest of my Dillard's dollars, and I may have sold a few of my gold teeth and Carl's. I actually sold his ashes.
Oh, good for you. I was wondering when you were going to do that.
But I figured we could get it done.
Let me stop you both right there before you say anything else. I have to know if what you're telling me is true or based in our reality. If what you're saying has actually occurred, then I must know.
Okay, if I'm being honest, I want to sincerely apologize for killing that secretary earlier. I do feel kind of bad about it, actually. And maybe that means that this is working?
I would additionally like to apologize on behalf of DeVogler here. This is why we're in couples therapy, let's be honest.
100%. Do you want to get out of here, though?
Absolutely. This is weird. We'll talk about it in the car, but I don't know.
Before you go, I just updated my business cards, and I wanted to make sure that you had my number. I'll have my secretary call you to set up your next appointment once I hire a new one, of course.
Why would we need your business card? We already have a regular schedule set up with you.
Onyx, please. For once, don't overthink this and just take the business card. Look, this guy is starting to freak me out.
Fine. Hand it over. Let's leave.
Finally, I am
Couples Therapy is a fully improvised narrative podcast created, produced, and hosted by ONICKS and DEVOGLAER, edited by Jack of All with artwork provided by Nathan Noyes, and production assistance and additional voice acting from Ryan Whitcomb. Any resemblance to events or persons mentioned in this production are purely coincidental and not reflective of reality. Make sure to follow the stars of Couples Therapy on their social media platforms at @IamONICKS and @DEVOGLAER respectively. Got advice for the happy couple? Send your questions, comments, and doctor's notes to weneedcouplestherapy@gmail.com.